Okay, friends. Yeah, promotional video time. But I'm going to tell you, this might be... I don't even think it's going to be a might. This is probably going to be one of my favorite ones to do. I'm so happy, to be honest with you, that I had the opportunity to do a promotional video on this one. DMT is the compound inside of ayahuasca, or the frog venom. The Colorado river toad has DMT, although it's a different, slight variation from ayahuasca. It's actually like 5 times more powerful. Anyways, they both have similar effects. As you may or may not know, most of you should, because I've mentioned this, I tried ayahuasca one time, like 2019. Yes, 2019. The first time I did it, I had an incredible journey, if you will. I was taught things. I was shown things I needed to see. It was just incredible. And I have to say, if you've ever done it, it will have an effect on your life probably forever. Like a positive effect typically. Now, sometimes there's a bad trip, a good trip, whatever, and it just happens. I did it a second time. I had a bad trip. But during that bad trip is the one where I was like, I'm not closing my eyes because I don't like the way I feel. Something's trying to pull me in, which it does. Like when you close your eyes, you're going in because it's all right here. And I'm like, but I want to just close my eyes just for a minute. Let me just rest my eyes. And then that was it. I was out. And that's when I went on a journey and freed the souls of these children that have had some very bad things happen to them. And when you're on that stuff, you're plugged into the universe. Basically, you know things. You just have a knowing because you're freaking plugged in. Okay? And I did that. And it was incredible. Because as soon as I was done, they left, they got it. And then I came back too. And I was like, oh my God, did I just do that? No wonder why I was having a bad trip. Because that was deep. There was a lot of hurt and pain for those kids. Anyways. That's a longer story that I'm not going to get into right now. This company is essentially making DMT in a laboratory. And this is a ENTHEON, I guess is how you pronounce it, ENTHEON BIOMEDICAL. And I was asked, you want to do a promotion, a little promotional review on this one? And as I say, sometimes, like, I got 2 other ones the other day. You don't even know about it because I was like, nah, I don't want to do those 2. But I want to do this one because I have firsthand experience. And I'm going to ask her in the email who gave this to me, could you add, do they have some, can I make them a phone call? You know what I'm saying? I do have a very special card. I am a member of a religion of Fred the Indian. He set up. It's good in all 50 states. And you can carry medicine legally. Not that I have any, but I am a member of his very awesome religious group that he set up. He's 100% Indian, Navajo. I can have feathers that are illegal. I can have medicine, peyote. Okay? So I might need to make a friend here with the CEO of this company because I have a spiritual retreat, as you know, that I want to get set up and running. I got to buy the property and stuff first, but big goals, and that's one of the things I would like to offer there. And if for some reason, you're still not allowed to do it, well, guess what? Fred the Indian's coming, and he is allowed to do it, and we will administer it through him. Anyways, it would be great to not have to drink that nasty ass ayahuasca, which will make you puke later on, usually, or diarrhea, or both. I'd rather have manufactured in a lab, put it in a, as they'll say, put it in a pipe and smoke it, like the frog version of it, the Colorado river toad, and you're gone for maybe a half hour, so to speak, in this journey, and then you're back. Sometimes it's only 10 or 15 minutes. When I did ayahuasca, I was gone for 12 hours, and I'd had enough. Okay, I'm ready to stop. But you don't just say, I'm done. You have to wait for it to wear off. And then the next day, you're kind of laying around, like, kind of recovering because you were up all night. but you're tired, but you still can't kind of sleep. So it's like you're not hungover, but it's just weird, right? And the second time I did it, I did diarrhea and throw up. I hate to say that, but you need to know this in case you ever do that stuff. So again, manufactured DMT, and the frog one, if you smoke it, doesn't have that effect. So I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I need to get in on this. And then this comes my way. So this company is gearing up to be able to produce this stuff in a laboratory and then sell it legally, the proper channels. And I'm telling you, this is going to be incredible. So they're in early stages, at least investment opportunity. This might be a real good one. I don't know. So I'm gonna give you a little cheat sheet here that they sent me. 2020 brought numerous often ignored issues to the forefront, including the need to address untreated physical and behavioral health problems. The onset of COVID-19 pandemic forced us to take a serious look at our well-being and to question the efficacy of conventional treatments. Among the most promising treatment avenues in recent years is psychedelic medicine. Again, the stuff the Indians that I love so much have been using since forever. Not us. Oh no, got to go to the hospital, got to go see a doctor and get a shot in your arm. It doesn't cure anything, it just treats it. So you got to keep coming back and keep paying us. There are people on some of the most hard to stop, your addiction drugs, like meth, for example, that go one time to an ayahuasca retreat, or even DMT in this case, like the Colorado River Frog version, which is basically the poison glands. But anyways, they go there one time and the experience changes their life so much, they just stop. It somehow makes them not even want the damn drug anymore. Yet, that's one that you always crave once you have it. It's the hardest one, they say, to get off of. And I've seen tons of documentaries where people testify, that happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me. You might have an alcohol problem, other problem. So anyways, unlike the past decades, today's experts are looking closely at an array of medical solutions derived from psychedelics. These are not the illicit drugs of the past, but real and viable treatments for the mood disorders that millions of individuals struggle with every day. Addiction, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and more. And I do have a friend, Spinny, I love you. And I've known this in my being for a long time. You need to do this one of these days. And again, if I could get situated, even if it's working under Fred, who's legally allowed to administer that stuff, and I don't know if I can because I have a card now that he gave me as a member, but regardless, I would honestly pay for Spinny to come and charge him absolutely nothing. He, I believe, has PTSD. He's a good guy, and he might be hearing this. So, Spinny, one of these days, hang in there, and I think I'm going to make that happen for you. For many years, psychedelics have been known to produce a heightened state of consciousness and have been used for religious and spiritual purposes, as well as for personal development or to facilitate the healing of an emotional disturbance. Now, I heard that Steve Jobs, creator of Apple, did ayahuasca or similar DMT and got some downloads during his session that helped him take Apple to where it's at today. And other people have done the same. So again, when you're plugged into the universe, a whole lot can be given to you, information. I was taught, without even knowing I was doing it until I snapped back and came to, that I was doing a very interesting breathing technique. And I got the download. If you do this next time, or even now, on this, it will amplify the experience. If you breathe and hold it and let it out certain ways. And okay, and I got, by the way, when you meditate, you should breathe like this too. Well, you don't have to be on anything like ayahuasca, just when you meditate, this was helpful too. And I don't even know how I got it from, but I was plugged in and I got it. And truth be told, I believe it was positive information because I've tested it, and it does seem to work. Growing burden of mental health conditions. There's 300 million individuals estimated to be suffering from some form of depression across the world. USD billion, 200 plus. Annual expenditure on the treatment of depression in the United States alone. Listen to me very carefully. I've already done this. I know people who are into this stuff. And this helps people. And you don't have to keep going back to the pharmacist, go see a psychologist, go see that. Nope. And it probably will get to the point, like marijuana, where you have a red card or whatever. Oh yeah, you're approved. We'll send it right to your house. They'll have a courier come right to your house, and here you go. You're approved. This state passed the law. Okay. But in the meantime, we may be a ways from that, at least in this country, America. But there's still ways to do it. There's a church in Orlando, Florida, called Soul Quest that is authorized to do ayahuasca retreats. And they do them. But, again, I don't want to experience the throwing up. I don't want to do it. I don't like that. So if I could get pure DMT and take it myself, whatever, that's the most epic way, because you typically don't. I mean, I guess there's a few people who still might throw up, I think, maybe. But typically, it's not anything like the liquid one, which is ayahuasca. So, 200 billion plus US dollars in the United States alone every year. People trying to help themselves. Could you imagine if the answer was one word, DMT? And how much is a couple things of it? Oh, and I don't know the price, honestly. But if it was $100 or $200, let's just say, which would be outrageous to me, for like a couple of sessions, if you will. Although you go to Soul Quest, you're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go do that. But I'm just talking about, like, how much would it cost to buy a little bit of this stuff once it's legal or whatever. Let's say $200. And you do it just a few times, if you even need that much, and you're like, oh my God, this has helped my life drastically. You don't have to keep going back to the drug man known as pharmaceuticals, the doctors. You guys see a specialist. Well, that specialist didn't help me. I want to see another specialist. Well, you may have this, so you can see another different specialist. And they just pass you around, milking you as you go, and the insurance company. So, the seeds of reform were actually planted many years ago as instances of addictive behavior reduction through the use of entheogens, plant-based medicines that provide a spiritual experience, have been studied and observed since the 1950s. And again, I've done this myself 2 times. And it was absolutely incredible that first time. And even though I had a bad trip the second time, the mission that I accomplished on the other side with those children floating around, nowhere to go, didn't know anything, didn't know that they could pass on to the next life, go to heaven, so to speak, and I helped them go, showed them how to get out, go there, and I'm going to send you love, unconditional love from me right now, is what I told them. I'm going to send this to you now because I know you've never felt it, because a lot of these kids were trafficked from the day they were born. I knew this in my experience. And there were so many I couldn't even count how many souls I saw. But I sent them this love. They got it. And they moved on. And I watched them go. And I'm like, and I came back. And I'm like, I'm getting chills right now talking about this. Oh my God, I did that. I did that. And then I'm back to the dreadful, crappy feeling. Well, no wonder why. I was probably picking up their feelings and emotions. What happened to them? And by the way, I did a meditation like a few months ago, and they came back, and they were very happy and much better. And I had a little conversation with them. It was really, really interesting, and that was new for me. But I saw them in my meditation coming in. And I'm like, come closer, let me see you. Let me see your beautiful little faces. and they're like peeking in and like, oh, and then all of a sudden I got goosebumps across my whole entire body, and they just stayed and stayed. And then there was a layer of energy on top of my body goosebumps. And I'm like, what is that? But it didn't feel bad. It was like, and I'm like, I don't know what that was, but it felt good. Woo Doo goes, they're hugging you. He goes, okay, he's like, they're hugging you. They came in that your space and hugged you. And I go, oh. So I'm like, they got it. They're free now. They're where they need to go. And anyways, that was just, it was another video for another time. So, anyways, I'm gonna put up in the description box and whatnot the company name, the website, links to everything you need to know about the company, if possible investment opportunity as well. But if this thing can get going, oh my God, and I'm able to like get this because I'm working under Fred, the Indian, under his license, basically as a religious Indian person. Religious organization, not any religious organization can just do this. But Indians can, and he got approved. And he got 50 state approval. And he said, I've been working on this for like half my life, Joe. And I finally got all the approvals I needed. He goes, I got a card for you. We're going to fill it out right now. I'm like, hell yeah. So I do have a card. So anyways, I'd love to do this, create my own spiritual retreat. As I said, spiritual retreat adventure, because we go up in the mountains and have some fun too, and see some sights. But again, what's to stop somebody from coming to my spiritual retreat where I'm like, oh, I'm using this company, ENTHEON Biomedical. I've got a relationship with them. I'm buying their product. I'm allowed to do this with Fred. It's legal. Come to the retreat. You have issues. And I don't mean, you may not want to come here for a spiritual purpose. Or maybe even the adventure part. But maybe you just need a session with some DMT with us watching over and guiding, and that's all you needed. You only needed to stay for a day or two. Okay. I'd like to be able to do that for people, knowing that I'm helping people. This is awesome. So I'm gonna email her back. Hey, I do have a license, and my friend Fred the Indian can do. He's allowed to have it. Are they making it yet? Are they in the stage where they're making it yet, or is that coming soon? But again, this could be huge, and this company might really blast off. And by the way, remember the other one I did the other day, promotional video, Hello Pal? They just actually reported amazing revenues. Here it is. Hello Pal announces third consecutive monthly revenue of now over $2 million. So that was the one I was telling you about that did the little chat thing. They had the weird little chat thing where it was people in different countries who spoke different languages and stuff. So they're off to a good start for sure. That's pretty cool. So anyways, that's it for the video. And maybe one day I'll tell you, because I did have it on there, my channel one time, about my whole experience. But then I'm like, oh, YouTube might nail me. Let me take it off. But then I realized later, they're like, no, you can talk about an experience, but you can't come out here and try to sell drugs or do that. But you can tell people about an experience you had on drugs, no problem. Like, we're not going to take your video down for that. So I'm like, well, okay, that's cool, but I already deleted my video. So it was a really interesting experience, and I do want to do it again. Again, I just don't want to throw up and have diarrhea from ayahuasca. It's just, when I was thrown up that night, oh my God, it was bad. And this little tiny stuff would come out. My wife was like, God, you sounded terrible. It's not like you're dying in there. I go, yeah, I know. I don't want to do that. I do not want to vote like that one, Daddy. All right, Veruca, we'll get you one as soon as we get back. So, anyways, that's it. Check out this company. I'll put the links up in the description box. Take care.